Hello and welcome to week 3 of summer immersion. Things are definitely flying by, and I hope that you are finding that the investment of your time and your energy in summer immersion has been worth it, that your participation with the readings, the discussion boards, the meetings, all of that is really helping you to prepare for the transition to college this fall. Last week we talked about resources on campus, academic, social, and otherwise, that will help you navigate any number of situations that might arise at some point during your experience in college. And I hope that you now recognize that there are people and offices and programs that you can reach out to at any point. A lot of folks talked about using office or student hours and meeting with professors. And it was really great to see about 7 of you come to my student hours afterwards. And we had a really fun hour talking about any number of things, including how to stay organized, time management, and staying on top of the assignments that we have this summer. So if that's a conversation that you want to have, if there are other things that you'd like to talk about, definitely drop in to next week's office hours or go ahead and send me an email to set an appointment if there are other times when you'd like to catch up. This coming week, we are going to be talking about community and civic engagement. And I think one big part of transitioning to college, especially if you are moving to a new city, which more than half of you are, is getting yourself situated not just at the university, but in the neighborhood that the university is in, and then the city and surrounding areas as well. And community and civic engagement is one way for us to go out into the community, learn a little bit more about the people who live there, and the opportunities for you to dedicate your time and your energy and your talents to local organizations and people and so on. And what you'll find is that there are lots of different ways to be engaged in the city of Boston. It has a rich history. There are lots of really wonderful people and programs and initiatives, and the opportunities for civic engagement are far reaching. So this week we'll have Hillary Sullivan, who's the director of community service, as well as Mark Esty, who is the assistant director, and then a number of other folks who work in their office join us to talk about all the different ways in which you can get involved with community service and civic engagement this coming year. And we'll show you a few things as we switch over to our course website. So let me pull that up. So I'm going to do things a little bit out of order, but I'm actually going to start at the bottom here and show you that we have the civic engagement menu, and this is something that Mark and Hillary helped me put together. And the idea here is that we're moving away from talking about community service as the only way in which you can be involved. We want to recognize that Northeastern students are really involved in lots of different ways. Leadership can take lots of different forms. Service to community can take lots of different forms. So we've put together this menu to really talk about all the ways in which you can be involved. So we have programs that are led by their office, the Office of City and Community Engagement. We have service-focused clubs and workshops that are led by the Center for Student Involvement. We have service or engagement with a cultural center on campus. And then students can also propose their own independent projects as well. And as you look at this menu, I encourage you to click on the various links to learn more about those spaces and the opportunities that they provide. But like I said, Mark, Hillary, and their team will be talking a lot more about the things that are available to you as well. So we have a few different things due this week. We have a discussion board post, which is writing for college. So whether or not you are attending the session with Lynn on Tuesday, everyone is going to complete a reading and then write a short essay. So as always, make sure that you pay attention to deadlines. This week, this is due on Monday. I know in previous weeks we've had submissions due on Tuesday, so that's a little bit new. You have a reading. Now this is a pretty long article. We're asking that you read the first 5 pages, but certainly if you are interested in learning more, feel free to read the whole thing. And then with a short essay, there are some guidelines here, including picking a sentence, using MLA formatting to cite the source. Maybe that's something that you've used in a previous class, maybe that is new. But like we've talked about with the syllabus, academic integrity is really important, and citing your sources is really important. And there are a number of different ways in which we can cite sources. MLA formatting is one of those ways that you'll learn this year. And then what to include in your first, second, and third paragraphs as well. I hope that in addition to the 4 people who have already signed up for the workshop, that more of you will sign up to attend that workshop. That's going to take place on Tuesday afternoon, or I guess it could be morning, depending on if you are on the West Coast. But, and maybe completing this assignment will inspire you to join that workshop on Tuesday as well. And then again, we'll meet on Wednesday. That's the weekly required meeting for everyone. And that's where Mark and Hillary and their team will join us. To get ready for Mark and Hillary's presentation, we're also asking that you do a second reading, and there is no discussion required for this one because the discussion will take place in class. This is from a 2017, yes, Boston Globe article called Lost on Campus as Colleges Look Abroad. And you should read it carefully, come to class prepared to engage in discussion. You'll notice that Northeastern is featured quite heavily in this, and so there's some stuff that will be very relevant to your experience as a student at Northeastern. And then they've also asked that you think about other areas of tension that might exist between colleges and communities in addition to the ones that are already being discussed in the article. If you can access it, I'm not sure if you can, try to read the online version of the article that's linked here because there are some interactive data visualizations. But if you cannot, we've also posted a PDF version of the article as well, where you'll get the same information. So this is a little bit of a heavy first half of the week, so I do encourage you to plan ahead and work ahead and get some of this stuff done over the weekend if you have time, or again, to set aside a little bit of time every day to chip away at this. The second half of the week, I will post a second assignment, and that is going to be to have you peer review each other's college success plan drafts. So again, remember that during week 2 or module 2, everyone is submitting a college success plan draft via this page. And then once all of those are in, I can assign you partners and you'll work with another person to review each other's drafts and give each other feedback on how things are going so far. Finally, I just want to point out one more thing. There's this syllabus link over here on the left. And when you click on that, there is a link to the overall course syllabus. But if you haven't discovered it yet, this is a list of all of the deadlines and assignments for the course as well. It gives you the date, it tells you where to go to get details, and it also tells you when it's due. And generally, I have everything just due by the end of the day, so 11:59 p.m. And so if you're having trouble keeping track of assignments or knowing what you're responsible for and what is due, this is a really good place to check. But as we discussed with the students who attended the student hours last Wednesday, there are lots of different ways in which you can use online calendars, paper calendars, to-do lists, and so on to really keep track of everything that you have to do, to work backwards from due dates to make sure that you have enough time to dedicate to the assignments. My recommendation is that every time a new module goes up, at least take some time to click through everything. For example, we have those 2 readings this week. I would encourage you to at least open up those articles to see how long they are so you can begin to think about how long it's going to take you. Especially early on in your college career, things are probably going to take you longer than you think as opposed to less time. So just budget the time and then begin to pay attention to how long things take you to complete. If you have any questions, let me know. If you're interested in signing up for Lynn's college writing workshop, please let us know as well. And I hope you all have a great weekend, and I look forward to seeing you next week.